government has shown that it is committed to ensuring that public transit fare increases remain stable over time, but it should look at providing subsidies to additional vulnerable groups. My name is Timothy Wong. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Economics at the National University of Singapore. Starting the 28th of December, bus and train fares will increase by 6% for every journey. For an adult commuter, that works out to 10 cents more per journey. The Public Transport Council, or PTC, uses a fare formula to guide changes in fares from year to year. This year, the fare formula prescribed a 3.3% increase in fares on the back of higher inflation and increase in wages. In addition, PTC allowed for a 2.7% increase in fares to make up for a deferment in fares that has accumulated over the past years when the fare formula has prescribed a higher level of fare increase than PTC decided to execute. This 2.7% increase in fares is a very small slice of an accumulated 15.6% increase that has been accumulated over the last few years. So to make up for that shortfall, the government will have to put in an additional subsidy of about $215 million this year. If we don't pay for public transit through fares, then the government has to come in and pay for these costs using taxpayer dollars. What we've seen over the last few years is that the government is willing to step in to dampen the effect of inflation on fares so that the commuter does not bear the full cost increase from year to year. What we are seeing for the first time in a few years is that the magnitude of the fare deferment from previous years is beginning to narrow. And so the government is indicating to us this year that additional subsidies will not continue forever. That said, even if these fare deferments begin to unwind over the next few years, the government is ensuring that this is done gradually, so additional subsidies will not be withdrawn from the system immediately, and the government has the funds to smooth this over time. I think the extent of public transport subsidies in Singapore has allowed fares to be manageable to most households, but there are groups of the population that require additional subsidies. And here within the system, there are additional subsidies for groups like seniors, students, and those on workfare income supplements, but it's worth considering whether we need to expand that group to include other vulnerable populations, for example, people who live in rental housing or single mothers.